Before the rise of mighty empires, before vast stone pyramids pierced the skies of Mesoamerica, before the Aztecs ruled from their island capital, and before the Maya charted the movements of the stars, there was a god, a being unlike any other, a deity who combined the power of heaven and earth, the grace of a bird and the wisdom of a serpent, a god who brought knowledge to humanity, who taught civilization, who descended into the realm of death itself, who created mankind from the bones of the ancient dead, a god whose influence spread across centuries, kingdoms, and entire civilizations. His name was Quetzalcoatl, the Feathered Serpent, one of the most important and beloved gods in all of Mesoamerican mythology, a deity worshipped by multiple civilizations over thousands of years. To some, he was the creator of humanity. To others, the god of wisdom, the patron of priests, the inventor of the calendar, the bringer of life, the lord of wind, the ruler of the morning star, and perhaps most remarkably, a god who often stood in opposition to violence and destruction. While many mythological gods sought power through conquest and war, Quetzalcoatl became associated with learning, culture, creation, and renewal. His stories would shape the religious beliefs of millions. His symbols would appear on temples across Mesoamerica, and his legacy would survive long after the fall of the civilizations that worshipped him. This is the story of Quetzalcoatl, the Feathered Serpent, the creator, the teacher, the god who helped shape the world itself. To understand Quetzalcoatl, we must first understand his name. The name Quetzalcoatl comes from the Nahuatl language spoken by the Aztecs. It combines two powerful symbols, the Quetzal and the serpent. The Quetzal is one of the most beautiful birds in Central America. Its brilliant emerald feathers shimmer in sunlight. Its long tail feathers made it a symbol of nobility, divinity, and the heavens. The serpent represented something equally sacred. It symbolized the earth, wisdom, transformation, life force, and hidden power. Together, these symbols created something extraordinary, a creature that united heaven and earth, sky and land, spirit and matter. The feathered serpent became a visual representation of balance between opposing forces. He could move across the sky like a bird, yet remain connected to the earth like a snake. This duality would become central to Quetzalcoatl's identity. He was not merely a god, he was a bridge between worlds. Although Quetzalcoatl is often associated with the Aztecs, his origins are far older. Long before the Aztec Empire existed, images of the feathered serpent appeared throughout Mesoamerica. Archaeologists have discovered serpent imagery dating back thousands of years. Among the earliest examples are found in the ancient city of Teotihuacan. There, enormous stone carvings depict feathered serpents emerging from temple walls. The civilization that built Teotihuacan flourished centuries before the Aztecs. Yet, the feathered serpent was already one of their most important religious symbols. The Maya also worshipped a similar deity. They called him Kukulkan. Like Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan was represented as a feathered serpent associated with creation, wisdom, and divine authority. Across different cultures and different centuries, the same sacred being appeared again and again. His name changed, his stories evolved, but the feathered serpent endured. This makes Quetzalcoatl one of the oldest continuously worshipped deities in the Americas. For thousands of years, people looked to him as a source of knowledge, order, and life. In Aztec mythology, Quetzalcoatl was one of the children of the primordial creator gods. His father was Ehecatl, a mysterious divine being who embodied both male and female principles. From this primordial source came 4 powerful sons. Each represented a different cosmic force. Among them was Quetzalcoatl. His brothers included the mighty Tezcatlipoca, a god associated with darkness, fate, sorcery, and conflict. From the beginning, Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca represented opposing forces: order and chaos, creation and destruction, light and shadow. Their rivalry would shape the history of the cosmos itself. Together, the gods would participate in the creation and destruction of entire worlds, a cycle that defined Aztec understanding of existence. According to Aztec mythology, the universe had not been created just once. It had been created many times. Each era of existence was called a sun. Each sun represented a different age of the world, and each age eventually ended in catastrophe. The gods repeatedly created humanity and repeatedly watched their creations perish. The first sun was ruled by Tezcatlipoca, but Quetzalcoatl challenged him. The two gods fought. During their battle, Quetzalcoatl struck Tezcatlipoca from the heavens. The age collapsed. The world ended. Yet creation began again. A second sun emerged. This time, Quetzalcoatl became its ruler. Humanity flourished, but Tezcatlipoca sought revenge. Transforming people into monkeys, he brought destruction to the age. Again, the world perished. Again, the cycle continued. Over countless ages, creation and destruction repeated themselves. The universe became a stage for the eternal struggle between opposing cosmic powers. And at the center of many of these events stood Quetzalcoatl. Among all the myths surrounding Quetzalcoatl, none is more famous than the story of humanity's creation. After the destruction of previous worlds, the gods sought to create a new race of people. But there was a problem. The ancient humans of earlier ages were gone, only their bones remained. These bones rested in Mictlan, the Aztec underworld, a vast realm ruled by the death god Mictlan. Determined to restore humanity, Quetzalcoatl descended into the land of the dead. The journey was dangerous. Mictlan was filled with deadly trials, darkness, mountains that collided, monstrous creatures, and powerful rulers who did not wish to surrender the bones. Quetzalcoatl approached Mictlan and requested the remains of the ancient people. The Lord of Death refused. Instead, he devised a deadly challenge. Yet Quetzalcoatl used his intelligence to overcome every obstacle. Finally, he escaped with the sacred bones. But during his flight, disaster struck. He stumbled. The bones shattered, breaking into countless pieces. According to myth, this explains why humans come in different shapes and sizes. When Quetzalcoatl returned, he performed a sacred act. He mixed the bones with his own divine blood, the blood of a god. From this sacrifice emerged humanity. Human beings were literally created from both death and divinity, ancient bones, and divine life. This myth made Quetzalcoatl not merely a creator, but a savior, a god willing to suffer for the sake of mankind. Quetzalcoatl was closely associated with wind. In this aspect, he was known as Ehecatl, the divine wind god, the breath of the world, the force that moved clouds across the sky, the power that carried rain, the invisible energy that sustained life. The Aztecs believed wind played a crucial role in creation. Without it, the world would become stagnant, crops would fail, life would wither. As Ehecatl, Quetzalcoatl helped move the sun across the heavens. He guided natural cycles. He brought change, renewal, and movement. Like the wind itself, he could not be contained. He represented the dynamic force that kept the cosmos alive. Quetzalcoatl was more than a creator. He was a teacher, a civilizer, a divine source of wisdom. Ancient traditions credited him with giving humanity many of the tools of civilization. He taught agriculture, writing, astronomy, mathematics, craftsmanship, and religious knowledge. He showed people how to organize society, how to cultivate crops, how to understand the movements of the heavens, how to live as a civilized people. For this reason, priests held Quetzalcoatl in especially high regard. He became a patron of learning and sacred knowledge. To many ancient people, he represented the ideal ruler, wise, compassionate, intelligent, and just. One of the most fascinating stories about Quetzalcoatl blends mythology with history. The Aztecs believed that a great ruler once lived in the legendary city of Tollan. This ruler was known as Topiltzin Quetzalcoatl. Some traditions describe him as a historical king. Others portray him as a divine incarnation of the god himself. According to legend, he governed wisely. His kingdom prospered, the arts flourished, knowledge expanded, and peace prevailed. But his rival, Tezcatlipoca, sought his downfall. Using deception and dark magic, Tezcatlipoca tricked him into dishonor. Ashamed, Quetzalcoatl abandoned his kingdom. He journeyed eastward toward the sea. There, according to some versions of the myth, he vanished into the horizon. Other stories claim he transformed into the morning star. Either way, his departure became one of the most famous legends in Mesoamerican mythology. Quetzalcoatl eventually became associated with Venus, the brilliant morning star. To ancient civilizations, Venus was one of the most important celestial objects in the sky. Its movements appeared mysterious, predictable, yet magical. The appearance of Venus often marked significant moments in ritual calendars. As the morning star, Quetzalcoatl symbolized rebirth. Every morning, Venus appeared after darkness, a celestial reminder that light follows night, life follows death, and renewal follows destruction. This perfectly reflected Quetzalcoatl's role throughout mythology. Again and again, he brought life from death, creation from ruin, hope from darkness. For the peoples of Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl was not a distant deity. He influenced daily life. Farmers prayed for favorable winds. Priests sought wisdom through his teachings. Rulers looked to him as an example of just leadership. Scholars associated him with knowledge and learning. His temples stood in major cities. His image appeared in art and architecture. His myths explained humanity's origins, the movements of celestial bodies, the cycles of life and death, and the responsibilities people owed to the gods. In a world shaped by uncertainty, Quetzalcoatl represented order, wisdom, and continuity. Few gods carry as much symbolic meaning as Quetzalcoatl. He symbolizes wisdom, knowledge, creation, renewal, sacrifice, balance, transformation, and the unity of opposites. His feathered body combines heaven and earth. His myths unite life and death. His stories connect gods and humans. He reminds us that true power does not come solely from strength. It comes from wisdom, compassion, and the willingness to create rather than destroy. Unlike many mythological figures remembered for war and conquest, Quetzalcoatl became famous for teaching, for guiding, for giving. His legacy is one of civilization itself. Across thousands of years, across countless temples, across civilizations that rose and fell beneath the skies of Mesoamerica, the feathered serpent endured. Creator of humanity, Lord of the wind, teacher of knowledge, guardian of civilization, traveler between worlds. Quetzalcoatl was more than a god. He was an idea, a symbol of humanity's highest aspirations, the desire to learn, to create, to grow, to transform. His stories speak of sacrifice, of wisdom, of renewal, and of the eternal cycles that shape existence itself. Long after the cities of ancient empires crumbled into ruins, long after their kings and priests vanished into history, the feathered serpent still remains. A timeless symbol soaring between heaven and earth, watching over the world he helped create, and reminding us that knowledge, like the wind, can change everything. And so, the legend of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, creator of humanity, lord of the winds, and bringer of wisdom, continues to echo across the centuries. If you enjoyed this journey into the myths and mysteries of ancient Mesoamerica, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another dive into the worlds of gods, monsters, forgotten civilizations, and legendary heroes. What mythology would you like to explore next? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep looking beyond the legends, because every myth hides a story, and every story reveals a piece of humanity's ancient past.